And now for the main event. You know, Alan was just a little bit concerned that there wouldn't be anybody here today. So I want to tell you a little about this fine gentleman. I've got big things to say about this little guy. A Little Motivation is a leading personal and professional development practice that helps individuals live authentically and excel effortlessly at what they do. Alan Little with A Little Motivation has coached individuals from the United States and in places such as Canada, Nigeria, Bermuda, and even transformed lives in the country of Greece. So this guy, he's good. His ability to create direct and consistent transformations in people's lives has allowed him to speak for companies such as Mary Kay, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and numerous business groups such as Today. Alan has been coined the motivation of Kansas City. It is my pleasure to bring up Alan Little with A Little Motivation.
What an introduction. I feel like Denzel Washington up here after that. First things first, I want to acknowledge some of the most important things first. I want to make a shout out to my barber, Steve Smith. Could you stand up, please? Can we give him a round of applause for doing something good as He literally called me randomly at like 2 o'clock. And I'm like, hello. He's like, hey, this is let me cut your hair. I'm like, what? Like, who is this? Let me cut your hair, make your hair for me, Jane, from the kitchen. And I'm like, okay, come through Sunday. Sunday comes around. He drives from Raytown. And I live over in Overland Park, like South, like by Utopia. He drove 35 plus minutes to come, cut my hair, take care of me and everything. Did it right. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, you know your barber, I'm the guy. Because of that, you're my barber. You're my man. My man. So, as Rob had explained, I am Alan Little with A Little Motivation. I'm here with a little motivation. A lot of motivation comes within you. Okay? One thing I should say is that nothing I'm going to say is going to be the absolute truth. Nothing I'm going to say is the absolute truth. It is a truth that is for you to possibly explore for yourself. Okay? Our topic today is how investing in personal development can double your revenue. How investing in personal development can double your revenue. That is something explosive. You're living in a pattern. Before we even talk about money, let's talk about you for a little bit. Right now, we're living in a habitual pattern that's been going on our entire lives. Keyword, thoughts. The way thoughts work is that every time you think a thought, it creates a momentum that goes on in your mind. And if you constantly think about that same thought, the momentum gathers. It's kind of like snow. Let's say you ever watched a movie and you thought that was a really good movie, and then 3 days later, it popped up again in your mind? Or you watch a scary movie and then that night you couldn't sleep with the closet door open? That was me. I never leave doors. I still don't leave doors open when I sleep in my room. Closed. Now y'all, who's seen It? How many of you seen It? That clown was scary. Right? So now we're living in a pattern. Now the only question is that the pattern we're living in, is it a dysfunctional pattern or is it a functional pattern? A dysfunctional pattern or a functional pattern? Dysfunctional pattern has a lot of side effects. If you're living in a constant dysfunctional pattern, you'll come to find that your fulfillment in life wouldn't be as mass as it was if you were in a functional pattern. Okay? Now, this is not a moral thing like bad or good. This is about what works. If someone wants to live a long life of longevity and happiness, smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day probably wouldn't work. But at the same time, though, if we have a constant pattern that's going on and on and on and on and on, there's physical cigarettes and then there's mental cigarettes. Some of us want to say we want a happy life, but what we spend our time doing? Watching, drama on TV. What is that show? Like Hallmark or something like that? And it's like, oh, happily ever after and drama. And see, that stuff is entertaining to watch, but you keep watching that, you're creating momentum in your mind that's going to go on and on and on. And the thing about our mind and thoughts is that it manifests to our physical reality. Our physical reality reflects our deep subconscious thoughts. So if you see somebody that makes you feel some type of way, that means that there's something within you see about yourself that you don't like. Like someone was telling me that, oh yeah, I hate when people late. People late. It's so annoying. I'm like, well, do you ever find yourself being late? Well, when I'm late, it's some stuff life comes out. Maybe that's why you keep experiencing people being late, because it's telling you this is what it looks like on the other side. Does that make sense? Ooh. Our next slide. How are patterns created? The way that patterns created is usually it starts with, at first, we're given to it, not from birth, in a sense from our childhood, our parents. We kind of inherited monkey see, monkey do. And they keep on going on and on. Also, regarding business, we try a method that works, and we think that's the only way to do it, so we stick to that. I think Mark Twain said, he said, it's not what you don't know that gets you in trouble. It's what you know for sure that just isn't so. We should reevaluate our patterns, I would say on a quarterly level, and say, you know what, is everything I'm doing right now, is it creating the highest version of who I am? Is this method? The scientist always analyzes the point. What if everything I thought was right was actually wrong? I say quarterly, reevaluate it, because that's how explosive changes happen. Okay? Your consistent income is a reflection of your invisible belief patterns. Your consistent income is a reflection of your invisible belief patterns. What that means is, it's something to worry about. Because so many of us are focusing on, maybe I should do this, new marketing strategy, or this new abundance mind, and it's just, no, you have a consistent pattern that's playing over and over again in your mind, and opposed to going to some, finance plan or whatever it is, not putting those down, but it's you. It is you that should change, that will change your finances, that will change your happiness, that will change your relationships, that will change your eating habits. It's you, it's your own mind. It's the subconscious that's constantly doing this over and over again. And this constant pattern becomes your identity. You identify it as your identity. And if somebody has an identity that needs to be changed, a lot of us have something called an ego that doesn't want to change that. You see? Yeah, I'll change my car. I'll change my fridge, food in my fridge, but I won't change me because I'm perfect. I'm good. I got a degree from Harvard times 4. That's the mindset we're attracted to. So the way we cause transformation is by analyzing our conscious, subconscious patterns and looking at them objectively as a scientific point of view, does this work to create the life I want? Okay? Technically, I'm called a life coach, and really, I'm an ontologist. An ontologist is someone that studies human beings. Studying human beings on an objective level is why does this person life? And a majority of the people that I interact with are usually in their 40s to 60s, middle age, because that's the level where a lot of people are you know what, something is not working in my life. I've been doing the same pattern, having the same relationships, and I'm ready to transform. Okay? I'm the guy when someone's had enough and are ready to change. If someone kind of wanted to talk about their story and I empathize and everything, but if they're not willing to transform, I'm not the guy. I'm the guy this is something that I don't want in my life anymore, and I want to change it. So now, the thing about this identity is, how do you shift an identity? If someone has an identity that has momentum that's going on our entire life, how do you shift it? Now, before I get into that, I want to play a little game with you guys. Okay, let's name these people. These people aren't really that famous, but let's see if we can identify them. Who is this man? Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael Jordan. You know who Michael Jordan is. Yeah, of course, exactly. He's, I would say, the greatest basketball player to walk earth. LeBron's cool, but nobody's like MJ. He's the one that saved the Looney Tunes from the aliens. Exactly. How many Looney Tunes did LeBron save? Yeah, he went from he never left Bulls. So go. Who knows this man? Mike Tyson.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
You said Muhammad Ali.
I'm sorry. Sport.
Mike Tyson. That is Michael Tyson. Okay. Now, this is Mike Tyson. Now, these are what we call legends, correct? These are legends. I have one more legend that's probably everyone knows, but this is another person who is definitely a legend as Mike Tyson, as Michael Jordan. Who knows this man? Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! That is Mr. Mahomes. That is Mr. Mahomes. To me, that's a legend. I watch him. You can see him do the sign out the look in the. He just does it so beautiful. Living legend. Now, my question is, what is the 3 things that those 3 have in common? Off the top of your head, what are the 3 things that those people have in common? Dedication. Success. Vision. All that good stuff. Tenacity. My question is, now, has there been other athletes that had those same qualities but didn't make it to the pros?
Oh, yes.
So what's so different about them? Talent. Yeah, okay. It's something. It's almost like, can we agree that we don't know? We disagree. Like, no, it's magic. No, it's great. No, it's a hair. Like, can we agree that I study each and every one of these individual beings because who I study is human beings at a level of transformation. Every one of these human beings had a transformation in their life that allowed them to excel at what they do consistently. I'm not the guy when people say, let's talk about our business and go up for a good 2 or 3 months. I'm the guy that makes excellence a consistent thing in our life. We do it month over month. We know the salespeople that's always at the top. We know the financial people, the real estate that's always producing. My study is how do you stay consistently excellent at what you do, and it reflects in your home life. It reflects in your business life. You'll go to a gas station, and the clerk will remember your name because you radiate that. The deciding factor is that they all attribute their peak success to their coach. To their coach. I watched an hour-and-a-half documentary specifically on Mike Tyson. And he was saying he was pretty much growing up, lived in the street, had a fighting with a lot of people, arguing on some angry guy, and he came across one man that believed in him and who knew who he could truly be and held him accountable to be that person. And he's saying the current pattern of his mind was going towards be a bully, fight people, don't do anything with it. His coach was like, no, you take your hands, you put them on. You put them in a ring, and maybe you can make something about it. And I studied the coach, and the coach was saying every day I would tell Mike Tyson, I would say, you're the best. You're the champ. Nobody can beat you. You're the best. He was doing that not for inspiration, but as subconscious. Remember, thoughts have momentum, so you keep hearing this subconscious thing over and over and over again, it's going to become automatic. When you get to the highest levels of success, here's the thing I've noticed. They asked Tiger Woods, how did you get to where you were? Like, now that you've won this World Cup and all of this PGA Tour, what do you feel? And Tiger Woods said, it feels familiar. He's never been there before. This is the first time he got there. He said, it feels familiar because I lived it in my mind over and over and over again. So when we get to when I realize that these levels of success that I'm coaching, help people get to, it's not something we got there for the first time. It's something that becomes familiar in our mind first, and our reality first, and the physical reality follows it in that respect, okay? Everyone in here that is a direct life coach or business coach, could you please stand up? Life coach, one, go, boom. Life coach or business coach? Boom, 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 boom. Can we please give these people a round of applause? These people are here for your development. They're here for your nourishment. They're here for your mindset in that respect. So it's all about, I feel, first of all, anything that stays in motion will stay in motion forever unless opposed with an equal force against the out of the way. That's the same thing with our thought patterns. By ourselves, it's going to go on forever. That's what's like in the last 30 years of our life. They just kept going on. Unless there's an equal force on the outside, someone like a coach, someone like a mentor, someone like a motivator to shift that. See? And then that's what causes that explosive growth. Have the proper conversations. The conversations with each other is most important, but the right conversations with each other would allow you to have the right conversations with yourself. And if you have the right conversation with yourself, you'll be the right person to have a conversation with for humanity. Stay blessed. And also, by the way, small information right there. There's no charge for an expression session with me. 1 hour, time to sit down and really express everything that's within your heart. I'm here. I'll put in my calendar all week and next week as well, open just for this group. So get in contact with me and we'll talk. Thanks.
Leave that up there. Normally we like to end with questions, but I did it again this week. I started as a little late. I didn't want to cut off the conversation. Alan, you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Everybody that felt inspired by that is driven to do a one-on-one, connect with him, call him, email him, ask those questions there. We're going to open up the floor after we hear from our sponsor for testimonials. We're going to have to be brief.